My name is Marty Joplin, and I'm a cybersecurity engineer and officer. A cybersecurity engineer and officer does a very important strategic role now. I work alongside the CTO and CIO to help keep our entire ecosystem secure and operational, incorporating best practices for security. And with the ever and growing threat on the world stage, it's important that pretty much every organization has that posture of safety and security. I recently went to work for Family and Children's Services of Oklahoma, and that organization does a great job. They have 72 subsets right now, and that's a growing field, different help organizations that provide helps in schools and in prisons and in just behavioral centers. Also, they handle adults with issues that can range all the way to addiction. And so in a very indirect way, by leveraging technology, I'm able to help those people impact a lot of lives on a daily basis. As a former infantryman, the thing I like about my job the best now is that I get to still be protective. I feel like I'm providing a safe place for my people to be able to do their job and to stay focused on what they need to do. What's interesting about that to me is that for the most time, if I'm doing my job well, they're completely unaware of the attacks that have been mitigated in the process. And I feel good about that because they don't have to worry when I'm doing my job well. I think the best type of personality traits that fit well for cybersecurity engineer is going to be someone who, first of all, has a real thirst for information. To be honest, the first time I read a lot of cyber news, I got a glazed look on my face. I didn't understand a lot of the terminology. But the more you read it, the more you soak it in, the more you start to get the pieces that are coming together understood. And when you grasp that, then you get to where you digest it. And once you digest it, then you can apply it to whether it fits well within your infrastructure. And the growth in that, the hunger for knowledge was an important aspect. Second thing I think is important is to care about the people you're protecting, because you don't just sit behind a curtain. You need to be able to communicate to your leadership team and to the end users why it's important, because it helps them understand why we all need to work together in order for this to be successful. The biggest vulnerability that any organization has in technology is going to be the users. And the more we educate them on how to protect themselves and not fall for some of the phishing attempts and other types of attacks that can happen, the better we are. We don't have a weak link that way. We take care of the weak link by educating people. And if we make it fun, I try to keep our educational process very short. I sent out my first cybersecurity newsletter just a few days ago and had a quiz question on there that I said, if you're interested in the answer, reply to cyber@ and our domain name. And I had at least 15 responses in the first day wanting to know the answer to the multiple choice question. My path to arrive as a cybersecurity engineer has kind of been an indirect path. I got a degree in a non-technical field at a time when technology was really just starting to emerge as a practice in a field that and it was so much in its infancy that we were discovering what type of networking was going to be put into play and which one was going to be the dominant player. As I did that, I started working in a warehouse that was for a technology company. Well, I'm sitting in the warehouse and I notice all around me there's resources for training. So I asked permission to be able to use some of those in my spare time, and I got certifications in hardware for 5 different lines of IBM products, and then the same thing with Hewlett-Packard. And as I picked up those certifications, they decided, you know what, we can always get another warehouse manager. Let's start to send Marty out in the field. So I start going up and down the road in Oklahoma City. Then I got stuck. I was in a job that didn't appreciate certifications. They didn't really appreciate technical talent, but we were just kind of there working under a manager that liked to manage by gaslighting. And so 2020 comes around, we were in the midst of the crisis of COVID, and I decided I'm going to start taking certification tests. And so I go back to what we consider the very elementary certifications. I went to CompTIA's A+. By the end of the year, I'd also finished Security Plus and got the stackable certifications that went with each of those. I looked at my experience as the vertical rails on a ladder, but the CompTIA certifications to me were the rungs on that ladder that allowed me to climb up to the levels that I enjoy now. And that's been exciting to see that translation happen from just a strong curiosity to a desire to achieve certifications and watch the certifications then turn into opportunities. Best advice I could give someone who's considering a career change is I think technology is one of the best open doors. The trick would be just getting some of those key certifications that communicate the potential to be able to do that work. IT is just so well suited for that, and the work from home model that's incredibly available these days has afforded itself to people who are looking for that opportunity to do something different, to do something refreshing. And if you've got that knack, that ability to understand, and after reading 2 or 3 times, you absorb the information, go, okay, now I got it. You can help other people, and you can help them make really important technical choices and potentially unleash their potential within whatever field they're in.